The future is here. An innovation that will change the way the industry works. A Hot 100 chart, updated daily. The most accurate price guide on the market. Every card has its own profile with a wealth of information. Know the precise, real-time value of any card in the system. On demand. You now have the power to unlock the secrets of the hobby. The game changer is here. Card Ladder.
No.
No. Christina says she's getting messages right now about the Luka Gold.
No, about selling the Luka for the auction that you're.
Dude, you can get like 4 of those freaking cards.
I hope not. I hope those Jordans go for more than that.
All right. So if the owner of those cards came to you, like, I'm about to send these, he picked your 4 favorite ones. He's like, I'll give you these 4 for your Luka Gold.
Without a doubt.
Okay, well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know.
Just buy them, and then you can sell the Luka Gold, like, the second you win the 4 auctions. And, like, you know, if that card's, like, the easiest card to sell ever.
Yeah, it is. I want to say to you, that was a great first hour. A lot of good topics, good rants, you know, great people in the chat. So many legends in the chat, too. You know, I don't want to make it awkward and talk too much about it. But, man, there are some of the Hobbies Hall of Fame in the chat.
We were over 100 the whole hour, man. This is pretty awesome. You know, like, we, you know, we don't, like, do it for the views and the likes and the comments, but, like, it does like, kind of validate, you know, the hobby as a whole and what we're striving for, and so we do appreciate it. We love having all you guys on.
Definitely. Let's go. Dude, last week a big hit was Giannis versus AD for best.
Oh, yeah.
Who's a better player? Do we want to do, just as people pour in here, who won the trade, man? Houston or the Wizards? Who won that trade?
Houston. And the reason is the reason for me is more just like the unknown of John Wall and sort of like the potential of what he could be in the Rocket system, whereas like we kind of know what Westbrook is for them and how limited they are. It's crazy that in 3 years they're gonna go from Chris Paul to Russell Westbrook to John Wall, like 3 of like the all-time biggest prospects at the point guard position, and James Harden just sort of like gets whoever he gets all 3. He gets to try with all 3 of them, and he can't. It's crazy.
That's funny how you bring it back to that. James Harden will have played alongside 3 of the very best point guards of this era, without a doubt. And they got a pick. They got a first-round pick out of it, too.
True. That's why that definitely helps win the trade.
It's just great. The chat, I've only seen people say that Houston won in the chat as well. I don't disagree on this one. I think Houston totally won this trade, assuming that John Wall is able to play, assuming that Wall's at his level. But like what Lefko says, all the podcasts that I listen to, they all are like unanimous that Washington won this trade.
How?
Because, well, I think on the one hand, the thinking is Russell Westbrook's going to put the Wizards back into basketball relevancy, and they're going to be a playoff team again. But the thing is, the NBA released its national TV schedule today. Washington Wizards got a donut in terms of how many games they're going to be on national TV. So
Wow.
they still have a steep climb to get back into basketball relevance again, even with Russell Westbrook on the squad. But I see that. And then the other thing is that I think from a risk tolerance perspective, John Wall is riskier because he hasn't played anything even close to a full season in a long time. Yeah.
2 years. We can play basketball in 2 years.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people too are sour on John Wall because they feel that he got paid a boatload of money to not play basketball for 2 years. I mean, he had a crazy contract.
I think the Wizards will definitely be better, obviously, because like Juan Wall like hasn't played, so like now they have someone that will play. Westbrook is a far more healthy, available player, and they'll just like be a better team. And Westbrook has better stats in his career. He has an MVP. Like he's clearly like the better player career-wise. I guess it's more just like the upside of John Wall and what he could be for the Rockets is they're just taking a gamble.
The Rockets quietly have a couple of things going on. So, I know you love these player rating metrics that are then aggregated to predict the outcomes. ESPN has real plus minus. That's their equivalent to all these different rating metrics. Like that's their equivalent to box plus minus or Raptor. Yeah, which 538 has Raptor. And I put this tweet on my story. According to ESPN's RPM, Houston will be the 3 seed coming out of the West this year.
I saw something that was it the one that you're talking about had the Blazers not even making the playoffs.
Blazers were not even on it. That's correct.
Sorry.
That's correct. The only reason I saw that tweet in the first place was because I follow CJ McCollum on Twitter, and he quote tweeted it, and he tagged Damian Lillard, and he said, "Just wanted to make sure you see this, bro."
It's just like I think it's funny because like we get these advanced metrics and these stats, and then we look at them, and we as like reasonable humans know that like the Jazz aren't beating the Lakers, for example. Like we see these predictions, see these numbers crunched, and then it's like, yeah, but like LeBron's not losing to the freaking Rockets, like it's not happening. It like was a 4-1 beatdown, like it's just we've seen it enough times as humans. We've seen the goats of the game. We've seen like when it gets down to the crunch time, what actually happens, and it's like computers can't quite calculate the fact that
they can't. They need to figure out a way how to that they haven't figured out yet. But Houston has made some moves. They have Christian Wood, which people feel was a great signing. Cousins are the analytics loving Cousins? Maybe, I don't know.
All reuniting.
Right, exactly. People are excited about that. On paper, like Lucian's literally what we're talking about. They look pretty good. They've got some talent on that team. And Eric Gordon, PJ Tucker, those guys are really gritty role players that people like. They've got some stuff going on.
It'll be a fun team to watch, that's for sure. I'll be tuning in. And the team out of the East I want to see is the Nets for maybe different reasons. But, I want to see the Rockets and the Nets now. I mean, it's going to be must-see TV.
I'm on the Houston Rockets website. Is Damari Carroll on that team now?
Oh, come on. Just move. What? Damari Carroll, he's a bench player.
They've made some moves. Okay, Tyson Chandler.
Okay, you're digging deep here. Let's back up.
Jerry Grant? Did they get Jerry Grant too? Anyway.
Oh my God, did they put Austin Rivers? Oh my God, do they still have him?
Austin Rivers went to the Knicks, and I
The
heard
Knicks.
some hype fests going on about what that's going to do for Austin Rivers in New York.
Could you possibly hype Austin Rivers on whatever. What's the next question?
I don't know. Okay. Yeah. So lots of questions. This was
You had one.
this was
You
a
had
fun
one.
one. Yeah, yeah. This is the one that I passed over, and I'm going to come back to. It's from Darth Brizzo, and he says this is a holiday question. I don't really know what this means exactly. Maybe it's up to interpretation. What or who would you find on the Hobbies version of the Island of the Misfit Toys?
What?
Austin Rivers.
Austin Rivers. Can you explain the Island of the Misfit Toys metaphor and what that means?
Well, I think it's from the Nutcracker.
Or Christmas?
No, it's from
you
the
don't really know
Nutcracker.
what it
No,
is.
it's from the Nutcracker, and it's where like the broken, not loved Christmas presents go.
Right.
But they have potential.
They
Yeah.
did. Oh, it's from Rudolph. Well, I think it's also in the Nutcracker. I think that's where it originates. It
Are
might
you
just
asking
be Rudolph.
who's valued?
I really thought
That's a
it
really
was
weird,
from,
undervalued question.
like, yeah, it's saying like, but it's not just undervalued. It's like
You got someone said
wouldn't no
Bol
one
Bol.
want.
Andrew Wiggins is a really good one. I like that one because it's like
Andrew
he,
Wiggins
he-
is yoked now.
he's a former number one pick, and now he's on like an actual he's on an actual team that like is not the fucking Timberwolves, right? Like he's on a team with like a real structure. So that's like pretty good example of what you're talking about, right?
I think so. I think so. I just kind of figure that's a question that you can take in whatever way you want. We're getting several John Walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Andrew Wiggins had a workout photo come out where he's looking yoked. Apparently, he says it's the best he's ever felt going into a season. Where have we seen this before? Have we seen this happen before?
Zion, every time he photoshops a picture of Zion, he's yoked. I just have never once looked back and that guy had a great season because he got jacked before the year started. I remember that.
Yeah, that's I'm racking my brain here. I just don't really remember that ever happening either.
I usually like just because of like how obsessed I am with LeBron, like I'll at the beginning of the season I'll like see where his physical fitness is at. But other than that, like I just have never thought about, oh my gosh, that dude's like in killer shape this year. It's gonna be awesome.
That's a very fair point. Some of the other comments that people made:
Oladipo.
Oladipo, Porzingis, Embiid, Trey.
I think that's like the opposite of what this is about.
I think so too. Dwayne Haskins.
Okay, I just looked it up.
Okay.
It's like a winged bear, a cowboy who rides an ostrich.
Mm.
It's like F up.
Injured. It's like injured players. Like Cousins would be a good one.
Cousins, yeah, that's definitely true. I almost took that question in the direction of like what hobby personalities would be on that island.
Oh gosh.
And I was like, we're not going to answer that one, but
People don't want that. Well, they do, but I don't.
right. Boat that doesn't float, etc. Fultz, fair one.
He was pretty good last year. I watched like the Magic versus the Bucks. He's good. I mean, he's not like worthy of the number one pick, but like he's a good player.
He's a serviceable starter, I think, which is nothing to be ashamed of. David had a question that I wanted to get to. So it was a good second hour question. I just have to find it.
Him complaining about somebody.
Yes. It was a good thing to complain about though. Where is it? Here it is. This is from Riverfront Collectibles. When will people stop trusting these new shady, greedy kids with their breaking money?
When people stop breaking, which is never.
So
So this has come up from I saw Justin 610 Sports Cards post basically like throwing out the lifeboat, life raft, whatever you want to say, to everyone in the hobby, being like, if you need help finding a good breaker, because there's definitely good breakers out there. There's breakers that you can trust that are doing it the right way, that actually go about the business for what it actually is. So if you actually want to get into breaking, like please reach out to one of the hobby veterans and have them help you. That's for starters. And no, I mean people like the breakers who scream and go crazy and post the same video of the one card they pulled 2 years ago over and over, and it's like I just don't get it. Like I really don't understand it at all. Like breaking to me is something I just will never understand, and so it's really hard for me to step back and like give sage breaking advice. So I just defer to people who. So what happened? Can you tell me what happened? What did I miss?
Well, have you ever been in an online break?
No, I've seen them. I know what it is, and I've like been in a couple with a couple of the breakers that are really popular, and I've seen it.
I've never bought a spot in a break either. The only person, like my brother, has bought a spot in a break once because it was Christina who was breaking for the bullpen in LA.
Yeah.
And he hit a Mahomes green 2018 Prism. I remember very well. We were like, go out on top. That's it. You're good.
Yeah.
And it was nice too because we were able to just take the cards home rather than have to ship them. Anyway, so I don't have the knowledge to comment on the drama that apparently has unfolded, as Putnam alludes to and CZ Cards alludes to. But I did read a post, and I just wanted to take one little nugget from it and maybe go with it. A post I read said that just one particular breaker on Instagram, just one, grosses between $25,000 and $100,000 a night.
A night? Wait, hold on. In one night or the year?
In one night on Instagram.
Coming soon, card ladder breaking.
That's very strange.
That's pretty accurate. Are you serious?
Between 25 and 100,000 in a night.
No.
One breaker. And it's interesting too because Brian Gray, when he was on Sports Cards Live this week with Jeremy, he said that he didn't give a specific number, but he said the amount of money that some of the breakers are making is unbelievable, and that it was in the context of speculating about what type of entities might get acquired following the acquisition of Collectors Universe. And Brian's ultimate point was that he doesn't feel like breaking companies or breakers are ready to be acquired yet, but that the amount of like money that's being spent on online breaking is just absolutely staggering.
I'm a breaker now. Like I get it now. Yeah.
And remember, that's gross. That's the gross, right? So,
not the profit.
Yeah. So, and when you think about it, how many boxes of Prism would you need to rip to get to 25 grand gross in a night? Like,
it just feels like a gross endeavor because like you just don't care about the cards. You're just like, you're literally just ripping. The word ripping is so perfect. You're just like ripping through stuff. You don't even care what it is. Whereas like those mile high auctions are just like, we care about each individual card so much. And it's like, oh, to a tiger stripe, whatever the fuck. Like you're just ripping through with no. I don't get it. Can someone tell me the drama? I love dramas. Can someone tell me? I wanna know. What happened? Nobody's gonna tell me. It's fine.
Randall is, Randall knows, man. Max Sports Cards. Yeah, he's in the chat saying these guys make a lot of profit on these breaks. Randall would know. Randall, I believe he buys into quite a few breaks, so he would know.
I'm selling my LeBron PC for the breakers licenses or whatever, like the boxes. I don't know how this works.
Allocation.
Yeah.
Just whatever. Crazy. Okay. We are just like way out of our skill set here with breaking. So.
Yeah, we are, but but it's definitely on. It took a higher priority on my radar when I read that figure.
I want to get into breaking now.
You know, the thing about breaking too is it's got to be somewhat depressing because much of this product is just not, you're not hitting, it's losing propositions a lot of the time.
But you don't care. You don't care.
As the breaker, you don't care, but as you have people buying into your breaks, I always think to myself like, oh, that's got to be such a weird business model that your people are constantly being disappointed buying your product.
It's like, I have so many great analogies that I don't know if there's kids on this thing. Actually, Adam brings up a funny point because like I would be the worst breaker because the comment I always get on my YouTube is like, oh, you're so monotone and boring and like with I'm too mellow. Thanks, David. Where like the breakers are like, oh my god, fucking Tiger Stripe. Like I just would not get excited about it.
LeBron, go! Whoa!
Oh, it's silver. Whatever the hell. Like this is ridiculous. I quit.
Yeah, no, and dude, I have to admit, when I see those crazy promo videos for the breakers and like they're filming their camera and like I watch the whole damn thing and I laugh and I send them to people. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Oh my god, it's freaking the best one. I actually did see one today where the guy opened a autographed football and he's like, oh my god, who is that? It's and he's like, I think that's Barry Sanders. He's like, oh my god, it's Barry Sanders, the Hall of Famer. It's like, oh my god, you don't even know who Barry Sanders is.
No.
Is he Lefko?
Yeah, no, Lefko, that's fucking
Josh
hilarious.
Breaking?
Yeah, wait, Josh breaking. All right, guys, ready for some bullshit base cards? Great idiots.
All right, guys, you ready for bullshit? Great idiots. It's like, you guys are just giving me your money, you idiots. I'm glad that I have really great self-awareness, so thank you for pointing it out, Adam.
That's funny. That's so funny. Yeah,
Chris, you would like overanalyze the shit out of every single card and go spend 20 minutes on each one and look at the stats.
I once saw Lefko once broke a box of a football product, and he knew the backstory of every player. So each card was like 30 seconds. He was like, oh, I know where this guy went to high school, and like I know all these stats about these guys. That's the type of break I would buy into. Is like that.
No, Chris's break. If Chris broke, it would be like, oh, sweet, look at this card we got. Let's go look it up on the ladder. Oh, I don't have it. Hold on, guys. Give me 20 minutes, and I'll be back, and I'll finish breaking. I got to add this guy to the ladder so I can tell you what he sells for yesterday, today, and what he sold for 4 years ago.
Dude, you know what I'm sensing coming up? A roast. Word ladder roast. That'd be so good. If we could get like some guys in the hobby just like roasting us, that'd be so fun. I would love
think
that.
that's a great idea.
The first ever hobby roast.
I think that's such a great idea.
Card collector 1427 says Chris would drop the cards.
Oh yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, I would never be trusted to do the break. Yeah, and I also would set a record low for gross profits because I wouldn't be going for gross revenues because I wouldn't be going through anything. I'd make it through one box.
You know what I would be? I would be like the concerned mom who's like, guys, yeah, do you really want to be gambling this? Like, I don't think you should be doing. Like, you've had enough. Time to give up.
All you guys better not grade all these base cards and back up the PSA backlog even more. I'm keeping these base cards just on principle. I'll send you guys the hits.
Or I'll do like that guy that ripped the Nebula in half and just, you know what, guys, I'm gonna take these out of circulation for you.
That's right. That's right. Hey, the thing is about breaking, there's still a lot of breakers popping up. There's a lot of freaking new breakers popping up. We got Pole Kings, Pole Wax, Pole Raz. I've seen those three pop up lately. I don't know what else can you put after pole? Pole Cards,
Pole Kings.
Pole Kings.
Pole Bull.
Pole Ladder. We're just gonna be Pole Ladder.
That sounds like somewhere you go to rate strippers.
That
Oh,
would be a pole ladder.
That's what it sounded like.
Pole Ladder.
Versus a pole ladder.
Pole Nothing. Yeah, there we go. It's called Pole Nothing, or it's like some pull sometimes good cards. Pull out. This is so good. People are so clever. I love it.
We got the best chat.
You know how my favorite comment is the internet is undefeated? It's just like the internet just always like will just make you look silly no matter who you are.
Yeah. Christina's getting excited.
I am.
Pole Bowl.
I
Hey,
would be-
Christina, if you want to lead this new fork or branch of card ladder, like
Josh, when do I have time to do this?
quit your dumb day job and do this. If you get 25 grand a day,
Yeah. Yeah.
True.
Can you get up to that level?
I would be like the addict who's like selling the drugs. I'd be like, don't you want to do one more, guys? Like
yeah,
that was a
got-
shit box. Let's open another one. Come on.
Chad
I
is on
got-
fire. Yamwax said pole sadness. See, that's the reality of it right there.
whole sadness. All right, do we have a question, or are we just gonna get into this disaster that we're going into?
We do have plenty of questions. So many.
Max, I don't want Chris quitting his day job because currently his day job is providing for me with card ladder.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. I wouldn't be able to stay. I wouldn't be able to fake the hype is the real issue. I wouldn't be able to, get excited about like, oh, this Manute Bowl auto out of 10. Like, wow. R.I.P. Manute Bowl. I should have picked somebody else. But you get what the point is. The point is that
Drexler, heyo.
yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that. Okay. We had some really big questions. I like this question though. This came from Richard Clark 77. Can you discuss why the big dog cards are all patch autos graded by BGS, but a quad 9.5 BGS is only 50% the value of a PSA 10?
Because the patch outs cards are just like better in BGS slabs. Like it's just like a more common thing for it to be graded that way because the slabs are more conducive to it. And it's just more like an established thing that you send your patch autos to BGS. But PSA 10s are always going to be more, and like they just will. Lamim did a poll this week on which would you rather own, and he was comparing like SGC to PSA and BGS, all the different combinations, and PSA just like destroyed all of them. Like everyone wants PSAs. PSA 9 almost beat BGS 9.5, and it's like, God, man, people really want like PSA 10 just like crushed everything, obviously.
Yeah. So it's like there's a lot of path dependence involved there because it just became a tradition to put RPAs into BGS slabs, and people continue to do it. It also BGS's guaranteed turnaround time had a lot to do with that because up until recently you could do a very affordable 2-day order. And when people would pull their RPAs, they would just send it to BGS on a 2-day order. It used to be like $50 not long ago, right? And they would get their RPA graded by BGS. And, BGS slabs just seem more conducive to the thicker card, right? And RPAs tend to have a much more muted design aesthetic. And so a gold label or a silver label over top of it kind of pops a little bit more. Whereas like with a shiny card, I feel like you really want those aesthetically in a PSA case because the PSA label is more muted. So the shiny card pops more in the PSA holder. Those are some of the reasons I can try and come up with to answer that question. But, and then, why would the quad 9.5 have the value of a PSA 10? Well, I think part of it is because so many are in BGS slabs that the PSA is a little bit rarer and the brand name obviously carries a lot of weight.
I send a decent amount of cards to cross, and I only try to cross from 9.5 to PSA 10 if it's quad 9.5 or above. And my success rate is about 1 out of 3. So one out of every 3 quad 9.5s actually crosses a 10. So that's a little insight into why it's double the price. And granted, like my success rate would be higher if I cracked them. It would be higher than 1/3, I would assume, but still, like, let's just say it goes up to like 50%. It's,
Yeah. Okay. This question comes in from Twoosh. It's a fun question. It's a serious question, but I think about it a lot lately as I'm going to confront this issue. How does one best flip large quantities of PSA 10 rookies in the $200 to $500 range? I have lots of Optic Tatums that I've been selling, but I don't want to flood eBay. Same with other rookies coming back from PSA soon. Thanks.
Sell them in different avenues. Like send 2 to PWCC, send 1 to Probstein every week, 6 weeks in a row. Put 2 on your Instagram, put them on Facebook. I mean, my slabs. I'm not super creative with my answer, but like, drip them out.
Totally. Not to be critical, because maybe this works for some people, but I always get extremely anxious when I see the Instagram story sale post and it's like a stack of like 50 copies of a particular card, like a PSA 10, and it's like quantity for sale. And it's like, I don't want one of those. There's 50 of them sitting right there. I don't know. It's my take on that.
I sold like 20 Drew Lock base PSA 10s before the season pretty easily.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. People like base PSA 10 prisms of rookies. It just sells. Just does.
There's no doubt about it. You could do like a eBay replenish. You put one for sale, it sells. You put the next one. You put the next one. You put the next one until they're gone.
I have this problem with LeBron Mosaic cards. I have like 60 of them.
You got a hoard.
You do not.
No, I do not. No, I do not.
You just got LeBron instead.
Yep. Oh, I love that card.
I love that. You're like, I'm so happy with my card.
I am. Twooge, let us know how it works. Let us know how it works.
Give him one piece of advice.
What's that?
Can I give him one more thing? Please, for all things that are holy in this world, list your cards less than eBay and you will fucking sell them. Stop trying to sell your cards that are common for more than eBay. I'm not that stupid. Nobody is that stupid. Please stop doing that. Everyone. I see so many accounts trying to sell their cards of a player on the Hawks that I won't name for more than eBay has them readily available. Are you insane? Please stop.
Yeah. It's a seemingly obvious point, but nonetheless, a good one. Something to think about too. There is this temptation to be like, oh, let me mark this up a little bit, right? But like resist it. But if anybody out there is also facing this issue, you would be doing me a favor if you availed yourself of eBay as the selling platform, because then I get more data to look at, and the more data points that come into our database, the better. So if you're on the fence and it's otherwise an even decision, use eBay. That helps the whole market stay more informed about quantity and prices. Adam says, when you say less than eBay, do you mean less than the last sold, or what's less than currently available has it been?
Less than last sold, because when you're ready to like actually do the deal with someone, they're gonna show you comps anyways. And they're gonna be like, the last one sold for $3,000 and you're quoting me 3,500. Why would I do that?
Yeah. And then a pro tip, sometimes it can work the other way. sometimes you'll have a comp of $3,000 and there will be copies on eBay for 2,500 because the market has shifted or something like that. And in those type of situations, like, you know, the market clearly is no longer $3,000 if there's a copy from a reputable seller on eBay at 2,500.
This is like getting into the magic of supply and demand, you know, like when you have so much supply where people are undercutting each other just to sell, that's what drives prices down.
Totally.
But if you have something that never sells, or you've got a, you know, LeBron Galactic PSA 10 that like hasn't sold in 6 months, you know, you determine the price. And actually, those are really good for auctions because send that thing off to PWCC and watch 3 people battle over it. You know, like have more patience on that rare stuff, and don't be so eager to sell on a 6-month-old comp. Like you're the one in control as the seller if you own a rare card like that, right? Like the buyer is the one that's going to have to come up in price. But if it's something that like, okay, this card sold 2 days ago, like come on, like we already know what it's worth.
That's very true. And if you are sitting on like a super rare item, I've always found it much more comfortable to send that to auction with PWCC.
Just yeah. I mean, dude, like it's to the point now where like my whole collection is just like so rare and like hyper focused on what I've wanted out of my collection that like there's no way I would do anything less than send it to auction.
Totally.
And like to where it's like this is like 3 months of focused effort to get this into the proper auction house and like make sure that everything's, you know, set up properly where it's the right timing. And you know, like I'm not gonna like sell something super quick in my collection to get it sold. I'm gonna spend the year, let's say like a whole year of like selling stuff if that was the case.
That's collector goals. Collector goals right there. Build a collection that you cannot sell on your own.
That is like the best little tidbit. Can you just type that out and I'll pin that?
I better write out. Let me write this down. Yeah, all right.
You want cards in your collection. I mean, it's obvious. I'm saying like you want cards in your collection that you don't want to sell or it's not easy for you to let go of and sell because, you know, that's like because it's yours. But yeah, like if there's a card that's just like so hard to sell on your own because it's so rare and there's no comps and you're just like
it's a new philosophy right there.
I rambled while you typed it out. Good job.
Thank you. Okay, Blindy90 says, I wish people would protect PSA cases with sleeves. I'm tired of getting scratched cases. I've become a scratched case grump as well. I didn't always used to be that way, but now I'm very particular about cases.
Is there PSA now?
Yes. Yes. This is a PSA slab guard thinner, right? This is just the first card that I had out to put it into. It's like nice little NBA City. And this is the PSA slab guard.
If anyone's like really good at the merch game, can you hit up Christina or me or Chris? We would love to do merch. We have some. We already have some stuff in the works. But dude, the whole like the quote game is like calling Nick, throwing up the bat signal for Nick. If we can work quotes into our merch, I think that'd be so powerful because we are like, toot my own horn here, but we're like pretty good at the quote game.
We got some quotes. We got that
one that I still can't. Neither of us can say it.
Please, hold on. Let me give this a shot real quick. Hold on. People don't like sports cards because they're good investments. They're good investments because people like sports cards.
There you go.
I practiced it earlier today. I don't know why. It just popped into my head and I said it.
That'll fit on a hoodie real nice. Or like a beanie or like a coffee mug or some shit.
I want to sell those grips, those tools that strengthen the hand. And the point of it is to encourage the mentality of having strong hands in this hobby and not selling things just willy-nilly because, oh no, my guy's out for a week or something.
It's just like a card ladder logo on the little grippy thing.
Exactly.
We're gonna sell golf polos, fucking card ladder beanie babies, and coffee mugs, and stockings, and Christmas trees, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Card ladder ladders.
Card ladder. Dude, there's no wall that we can't get over with these ladders. I don't care how good Trump is at building walls. I'm getting over that ladder.
Oh, the chat is the best. I saw merge with Jurge in the chat, and he sent in a question. It was a concise, fun question. It said, what do you guys miss pre-COVID? I take that to mean, what a lot has changed, and obviously in the context of the hobby, right? Like what do we miss? Or maybe I'll narrow it for us. Like hobby wise, what do we miss pre-COVID?
I have one super obvious one, which is just like the shows. They're just so much fun. Like I pinned Grant's comment. Grant and I have a lot of fun at the shows, and we always like meet up, and it's just a lot of fun. Like getting drinks after the shows and just the whole thing. All of it's great. Like you just can't replicate being in a room full of people who are just as weird as you. And I say that in just the most perfect way that everyone knows exactly what I'm talking about. Second is watching sports with my friends. Like, just like, and that can be hobby related just in that, like, I'm rooting for the guys that I collect or whatever, but just like watching sports with friends, drinking beers, and I miss that.
Yeah. And being able to spectate games and having fans in stands at games, right? Like football is really tough without fans for whatever reason for me. I just I hate the way they pump the noise into.
I'd rather just hear the silence.
Me too. And I'd rather hear the back and forth that's going on in the bickering with the players.
It's like a laugh track on a show. Like, if your show is funny, I don't need a laugh track. Just let me enjoy it. Like, The Office is the best because it's just like silently awkward after someone says something so weird. It's like I love the awkward silence of it.
Yeah. It's so true. Christina's a huge Office fan.
I am.
Oh, it's the best show ever. I could quote that show all day.
Shay said he misses the prices.
It's true. It's true.
Definitely miss the prices. I miss when everybody had more of a life, and like because people have gone so deep into the hobby during COVID that like I hear from a lot of people a lot more often lately, and they hear from me probably more often too. But I just feel like many of us had better balances before COVID.
I wish we all would just get a life. Stop. You basically want people to stop breaking online and like go to.
Yeah.
Dude, we used this quote today that I just pinned. Oh, how the turntables have turned. Only a true Office fan would laugh at that one. Chris is like, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I'm a bad Office fan. Like, my favorite character is Dwight.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I feel like that's not a good sign.
I think, like, most people just say Michael or Dwight, but like a more hardcore Office fan. Like, my favorite is Oscar or like,
Right.
Kevin or something.
They have much more nuanced takes on The Office than I do.
My favorite is Stanley, just because he always has like the sassy like eye rolls shit. It's so funny. There's one where like they like merge with the other branch, and there was like another black guy that was merged with them, and like the black guy like looks at Stanley and does like one of these things, and then he just goes.
Yeah.
Toby is an amazing character. Actually, David, one of my favorite characters is Gabe. Like after he like joins the show late in the show, but like Gabe is hilarious. He's like similar to Toby. They're just super awkward. Robert California. Who's the Michael Scott of the hobby? That's a great question.
Oh, that's a great question. Who is the Michael Scott of the hobby? Please answer.
Did I stutter? Oh my god, you guys are. I'm about to just like start The Office again. Who's the Michael? Oh, look at.
Christina's so pleased at the pinned post.
Sports Card Invest is Michael Scott.
Lamine.
That like being Michael Scott is like he's awkward and you don't want him at your party, but like as a boss and a person, like he's trying so hard to be good that like I have a hard time saying anyone is the Michael Scott because like he just has a heart of gold, right? Like I don't know who that would be.
I used the
But he's awkward as fuck.
I used the Michael Scott quote in one of my comments on someone like asked me a question and I was like, adapt, readapt, apt. It's just like the stupidest thing. It makes no sense. Eddie's
a decent
that's
choice.
He would probably even admit that's the case. Who's the Dwight Schrute sports card?
Totally. Nailed it. One hitter quitter with that one.
That's totally right. I'm Stanley, apparently.
I was gonna say, does that make Josh Jim or is Lamine Jim?
No, I'm definitely not Jim.
Jim is Lamine.
Like
Yeah,
who's putting Dwight Stapler in Jello?
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, that's too funny.
The meme is Jim for sure.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I'm not sure who the Pam is.
Pam?
We don't have a lot of females.
Let's see. We have 3 choices.
Right. Who's the Jan's Candles in basketball? Oh my god, there's so many great things that can happen. Like Office can just like be an analogy for everything. It's so good.
I hope Lamine watches The Office and someone alerts him to this discussion. He can start a whole series of Office memes.
Yeah, what's the bat signal for Lamine on this show? We have like our like Lamine make a meme of whatever, like do an Office one of the hobby. It'd be so funny.
Dude, if we have enough people talk about if we talk about Trey enough, then Lamine just shows up somehow. Yo, what's up, Garrett? Dude, that's my lane, bro. You can't have that lane. I'm Kevin. Oh, that's so. Yeah, so Lamine, if we talk about Trey Young enough, people will show up in this chat.
Left goes Pam. Lamine. Oh my god, this is so good. I'm imagining Lamine waking up to 40 days of Office shit.
He will, dude.
He's like, what the fuck? I'm not Stanley. What do you know about Stanley? What are you talking about? Slabstock's gonna mean equating Kevin dropping the chili. That's one of the best scenes. Kevin walks in with the chili and just drops it on the floor.
That's
oh my god. Who's Andy? Is it Angry Andy or Musical Andy?
Yeah, I think so.
Friendly, often confused, and welcome new people. I could be Pam. Wax his mood. Dude, keep him coming. This is like the best. This is the best ever. Whole wax his mood. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, guys. Andy is Jeff. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, all right. I maybe needed to look up who Meredith is. Now I know.
Meredith is the birthday one. Happy birthday, Meredith. She's the one that's like a raging alcoholic who just said like the craziest shit.
Who's like slept with everyone in the office.
Yeah. And she's the one that like got in trouble for like giving unfavorable or favorable benefits to her customers to like sleep with them and stuff.
Oh, that's good.
Toby, yeah, who's Toby? I can't believe that people are just like still going in the comments. I thought people would be like, get back to card. Actually, this is funny. Like when you're listening to sports talk radio and like the first 15 minutes that you're in the car, they're talking about nothing sports related. You're like, oh my God, if you don't start talking about sports, like immediately, I'm, like crashing this car. I feel like we're getting to that point.
We reached that level right now. Garrett says Dr. Stanley is Toby.
Wait, I didn't see that. Chris, you need to watch all of Office right now because I can tell you're just like not quite.
I just
connected.
get like the surface level ones. I obviously get Dwight and Toby and
That's
Jim
because-
and Pam.
It's because I introduced him to The Office when we were in undergrad, and he would watch it to fall asleep, like after studying all day, and like I would keep moving forward because I was like, well, forget you. I'm just gonna keep moving.
That was like your
forward.
third time watching it too.
Yeah, it was.
I've literally
my third time.
I've been through the whole show like 8 times.
I think I've only done it 4, so you win.
It's my favorite show of the time. It's so good. Wait, if PSA is Dunder Mifflin, is BGS Vance Refrigerator? I'm Vance, Bob Vance, Vance Refrigerator. Do you have any more questions? Rodman is Gabe.
I need to look up Gabe now.
He's the character on Silicon Valley.
Oh, it's this guy.
He's like one of the most underrated characters in the show. He's so freaking hilarious. He's like, they have like a whole episode where they just like roast the hell out of him. It's so good. SGC as Michael Scott Paper Company. Who's Wallace? David Wallace. Ugh. Oh my god. Do you have any questions? We have to talk about cards before.
Yeah, all right. Let's see here. What's up, Nick Briz? Let's see if I can bring us back to
This is the best show ever.
all right. We had some questions. NBA talk. Who will have the better season? Michael Porter Jr., Brandon Ingram, or Kristaps Porzingis? This comes from Utah Card Collector.
Who was the first one?
MPJ, Porzingis, or Brandon Ingram?
Brandon Ingram.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Who? I need to look up Robert California now too.
He's like the boss that they bring in. He's just like a crazy.
Stephen. Oh yeah, this guy's like my second favorite character here.
Ingram for sure. Because like Porzingis is gonna miss a lot of the year, and MPJ is just he's more sizzle than steak. To be honest.
Yeah. Right. Okay. This one comes from Pat Geek. Steph Curry. How will the hobby react to Steph Curry being back in action?
I feel like the Curry prices are gonna go down because like people are gonna be tired of like a second straight year of them not being good enough. I don't know. That's just like my hot take. Like people will want to like bring Curry prices up because he's coming back, but then like the whole Klay Thompson thing happened, and I feel like people might just get bored of like a second down year.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be a very Warriors thing to have happen if Wiseman is just like a huge success, and Oubre like fits in well, and like the team's just sick.
Wiggins.
Wiggins, yeah. I don't know.
No, I don't. It's just too much. Like, this is how I feel about the Nets as well. It's just you're asking for too many things to click too quickly. Like you're just sort of like making up this assumption that all of these things are going to magically work out really well, and I don't see it. Like,
Lingua Sports Card says, who are some good candidates for NBA Comeback Player of the Year? John Wall, maybe. I guess you could say Kevin Durant or Steph Curry. But I was actually thinking more about players who were not hurt last year, but just had a bad season. Who bounces back?
I have to think about that one.
Can we say Paul George could qualify for this?
Came out with a quote today that was like, "I want to retire as a Clipper." He is like, he got so ridiculed. I can't think of anyone who's been roasted and just like destroyed as much as that guy. And let's not forget, when he was with the Thunder 2 years ago, he was like an early season MVP candidate. He's still a very good I saw some quote from someone that was like, he only had a couple good years in Indiana. He definitely was like an MVP candidate recently, and he's an incredibly talented player, very good player. And he was just so beat down that like he has nowhere to go but a little bit up, right?
Yeah. That's why I think there's some potential there.
Can you think of anyone else?
No, it's a hard question because if somebody is terrible, they don't really stick in your mind. Maybe Karl-Anthony Towns, but he was hurt, right? So like that's why he was out. But I think Towns, people are Hayward. Okay, Hayward's a good one. I think people are sleeping on the Timberwolves, man. They were super good when they were healthy last year. I think they got better. I'd like that for them.
Yeah. Yeah, the Wolves could be good. It's just like it's a little bit mediocrity in the West is super crowded. Like,
yeah.
That like 4 to 12 range is going to be really crowded.
I'm going to say 3 to 12 range because I think the Nuggets took a step backwards in free agency. Maybe.
Are the Mavs going to struggle without their full roster?
So I was talking to somebody about the Mavs today, and they said their first 5 games are like really tough.
Suns.
Oh, yeah, they play Suns, Lakers, Pelicans, and I think 2 other potential playoff teams. They could start the season 1-4 easily. I think 0-5. They could. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Mavs finish like anywhere from 2nd to like 8th.
Yeah, they are definitely a wild card like that. Their players are young, and a lot is going to ride on the health of Porzingis. Not a lot, but like it matters.
That's what worries me about the prices of guys like Trae and Luka, and like, what if they just end up as like a 4 seed and they get bounced in the second round? Are people gonna like get upset about that? Because we've seen it in football, where like 2 players have exceeded expectations. It's just, are these guys going to exceed expectations? Very few of them. Like we know that a few teams are going to be there at the end, but there's going to be a lot of teams that just don't meet expectations.
Yeah, it'll be very hard for almost anybody to meet expectations this year. I think the Clippers are going to benefit from reduced expectations. There'll be a little bit of pressure off of them.
Yeah, true. I'd be buying Clippers stock right now, which is crazy for me to say because, like you said, they've just been beaten down so much that, like, I gotta think as professional athletes, they're gonna respond. Like they're not just gonna take it.
Definitely. Let's take a look at this is what comes to mind when I think about the Clippers. I think about Kawhi's rookie card, right? You know, that's soccer-ish looking. And let's look at the last year. So where did it peak at? On August 20th, it peaked at $6,100. And today, the most recent sale was for $2,100. And look at that. It had a little run up there in the last week. Got up to last 2 weeks. It got up to 2,800. Let's see what's on eBay. If you can find anything. So you got 2,900 OBO, 5K OBO, 6,400, 2,500 OBO. Not that many copies. 9 copies. So, yeah.
Clippers, man. I mean, I was working last year, and they didn't lose that much, and they ended up. I mean, they basically replaced Montrezl Harrell with Ibaka, which you could argue is a better player, especially when it matters in the playoffs. It's not like they're going to be bad. They're definitely going to be. They have a chance to run it back, and maybe their issues were the bubble. Maybe it was coaching. Maybe it was confidence, or maybe it was continuity of their first year together. I don't know that I'd count them out at all.
No. Something that got lost in the mix for the Clippers last year, Kawhi Leonard was fantastic in the playoffs, except for 2 games against Denver. But he was terrific. He was as good as you could expect an NBA player to be. Let me see if I can get his stats from the playoffs last year, because he was really extremely impressive, especially in the Mavericks series. Now, the Mavericks defense leaves something to be desired, but
the narratives that run during the playoffs make me laugh so much, because it's like they're up 3-1 and people are like, oh, the Clippers are going to roll and like they're too tough, and then they lose the series and all of a sudden like, oh, the Clippers, like, where they were pretenders all along. They had all these locker room issues and like all these things get leaked, and it's like, so 3 games and all of a sudden they go from like world beaters to like a disaster. People's just swaying reactions one way or the other just makes me laugh.
I agree. We saw it with Lamar Jackson too. Lamar Jackson was probably a little overhyped during his MVP season and this offseason, but right now the disrespect being put on his name is incredible. ESPN published a list of its top 5 players under age 25, and it had Kyler at number 1, and then it had an offensive lineman, and it had DK Metcalf, and then it had at number 5 Lamar Jackson. I'm just like, wait a minute, this guy's already won an MVP. Like, when we're putting guys who have had one good season ahead of him.
What have you done for me lately? It was like Quentin Nelson.
Quentin Nelson, yeah. And the highlight of him was phenomenal, because he made this block that was just unreal. He just totally destroyed a guy.
He's a pancake machine.
Yeah, dude. It was very impressive. Okay, here's what Kawhi's playoff stats were in the bubble. In the playoffs in 2019-20, he averaged 28 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists per game. He shot 49% from the field, and he shot 86% from the free throw line.
Like top 5 in the NBA stats.
Yeah, and that's in 39 minutes per game. So
yeah, I had 2 bad games, and that's that. You know, like that's how it goes.
Yeah, and that's where you would think Paul George would have been able to pick up the slack, but it actually worked the other way.
Since we started talking about Office, we've dropped a lot of people. So take that for.
Yeah, what the hell? That's our best content, apparently.
We should just do like a Office hobby Instagram account. And that'll be our. After tonight, we're going to be exclusively breaking and Office hobby content.
What could we call that account? Like, how could we mix breaking? Look, our viewers are creeping up. How could we mix breaking and The Office together at the same time?
Dude, it's way too late. I need Lamim. I need Christian to help me He's gonna have a DM about.
We should call our breaking company Dunder Mifflin Cards.
There you go. Literally, the meme is he's gonna have to make a meme about breaking with the office. It's like, what?
Making 100K or doing 100K in sales a night.
So you mean that like gross total revenue, not profit?
Not profit.
So he's having to pay out for the product.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And
He's upcharging. Like,
yeah,
wow.
so they're making some margin, but the margins on boxes aren't huge.
How much like product is out there to be broken?
A lot, dude.
All right.
A lot.
There's like, like a few hundred breakers. How much is there enough to go around? And like,
Dude,
I'm guessing,
they keep popping up too. More and more breakers pop up.
am I getting into the philosophical discussion of like why card shops are failing because breakers are dominating them?
Well, the card shops that prosper, with a few exceptions, are ones that also have an online breaking component.
Mm-hmm.
I bet there is a Michael Scott RC.
Yeah, someone posted a Bill Gates Yamwax. He's all over the RCs of all these different things, and he's got the Bill Gates rookie card.
Yeah. I've seen a few people in the chat tonight ask you if you could get Nat back on Cardboard Chronicles. I think there's some demand for that.
Dude, those two interviews are aging very well.
Oh, yeah. No kidding.
They're like, those two videos still have less views than like, top 5 Trae Young cards of the day, but whatever. That's fine. Yeah, I'll try to get him on again.
Garrett, I hear you, dude. Breakers are coming out of the woodworks. I'm telling you, man. There's so many breakers that have like pull something. I can't keep them all straight.
Pull ladder.
Pull ladder.
Pull ladder. Not quite hearing me. Maybe the quality of information. Pull ladder. Those white cardboard squares, like cards, where you get those rock cards. If you break it, they will come.
I guess so. I'm not sure what Adam's talking about. Is he talking about those like fake?
Yeah, those like kind of like hard dividers.
White bricks.
The bricks, yeah,
Yeah,
that come in
white
packs. Yeah.
These.
Yeah, we have a little stash of those, don't we? Here you go, Lefko. $100 shipped.
Dude, you're not selling hard savers here. Come on, calm down.
These are in short supply.
We had a guy call the shop after closing, come up there with $10K cash to buy wax to get into breaking. Adam Lefkowitz has entered the chat. Tough pulls. There's a good one.
Tough pulls.
Fillers. They're called fillers. Thank you.
Fillers. There we go.
There we go. We got some hobby vets in here to help us with the breaking wax. You got more raw, recently pulled from wax cards around your desks than anybody. Come on, man.
So ready. Lefko, you a collector of supplies, man. Oh.
Who gonna start collecting supplies? I'm gonna get them in card saver.
Should I be keeping these boxes, dude?
One of the best like memes are like nobody could get toilet paper, so that meme of like the PSA 10 Kleenex picture.
Dude, should I be sending my card saver boxes to WATA to get those graded like video games?
Those have to be sealed, or I guess you could do like CIBs, but you want to get all technical about the video game grading world. I'll get into it.
Dude, why don't they grade sealed boxes? Come to think of it, that's a.
Oh, wow. You mean like cards?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure Wada would get into that. That'd be cool.
I could see that happening.
Wada's a cool company, man. I like that. I like that company a lot. Breaking apps going anywhere. Speaking of apps, the Card Ladder app is coming super soon. We're almost done. Probably like within the next month.
Ooh.
I wanted to have it out before the NBA season started.
That'd be amazing. What about these? Are these collectible? Kid Reporters? All my real ones know what these are.
What is it?
These come in Panini football products. And it's you and your child could win 2 tickets to the Super Bowl, and your child could be the next Panini Super Bowl Kid Reporter at Super Bowl opening night. Boom.
What if you don't have a kid?
You borrow someone else's.
You borrow someone else's.
Or you hire a child actor.
This is great because this speaks to like the pretense that or the pretext that we're all in the hobby like for our kids or something. And
Right. You're like, I would wait in Walmart lines for this. What the fuck are these fucking kids?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, you could just pretend to have my kids just to win that prize.
Yeah, well, I might need to start submitting then.
The app would be out if Christina got busy with work.
What?
Those two don't connect, unfortunately. There's nothing Christina can do to help the app along.
He doesn't know about Kid Report. Yeah, that's how little I break. I haven't opened a box since before COVID.
Who the fuck is Christiana?
Oh my gosh. And that's our support rep, guys. We keep it real here at Card Ladder. Nobody gets treated any better. You know, it's like we all just equal treatment here.
Just don't call her the wrong name. Got spelled wrong and it's the wrong name.
Or apparently give missing sales for the wrong card. That's bad.
You know, yeah.
No, I just had a lot of those this week. I don't know what it was, but
People like have demanded more Christina on these shows. To me personally, and to like our accounts, like we want more Christina. So
I've gotten
You
those
want-
messages too.
see,
How do you know?
look, they're waiting for you to jump on the screen and say something funny.
Christiana's breaks.
something funny.
God, see, there you go. Say something funny. Ugh. Classic. All right, this is getting bad. So let's maybe one more
Yeah.
question.
Let me see. Okay, so I want to throw this one a bone. I doubt this guy's still listening, but he said if we ask a question, we need to shout him out. So here's your shout out, man. From this boy Real. He says, what are the best base cards of all time?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. I like that question.
Because there's a lot of cool base cards.
I just saw it.
I know.
Okay.
I got 52 Mantle, 97 Metal Universe Michael Jordan, 96 Topps Chrome Kobe. Those are 3 that just like come to my mind immediately as like really cool base cards. Oh, you can jump in while I think of more.
Yeah. I'm gonna go beyond the obvious ones. I'm gonna say 2018 Optic LeBron.
Ooh,
I'm gonna say that card because that card pretty much took Optic out of obscurity and made it, or it helped it elevate to being on the same tier as Prism or close.
and I was asked to do a top 10 basketball cards list of all time. I put the 2018 Luka Prism on that list.
Yeah.
And like, as much as I don't care for the card and I'm never gonna own it and it's just super boring, like you can't deny the importance of it in terms of like how it shifted the hobby and how it changed, how people look at the hobby and how things are collected differently, and it's just like a super historical important card.
Yep. In that vein, I'm gonna go with 2017 Prism Mahomes.
Yep.
It doesn't have like a crazy iconic look to it, but man, that's got to be one of the most important football cards in recent memory.
And it's always shiny.
Yeah, and that's kind of like cheating too, right? Because it's like it's a prism, but there is no more common version of it like that. It is also doubling as the base card.
And the hobby, 61 Fleer Wilt. I love that card. The hobby was the 86 Fleer Jordan, obviously. The hobby was built on base cards. Like, it is foundationally base cards. Like that was the only thing there was for even if you look back at the whole history of it, like there's been only base cards for more time than not. It's like that's the basis of the hobby, but it's definitely not the way it goes now.
Yeah, I just went over to Card Ladder. I put in the word base, and then I'm sorting by current value. And
what's the most
the 1933 Gaudi Babe
There you go.
Action PSA 9. It last sold for $500,000, but that sale was in 2019, and we have a prediction on it of 1.3 million. So that is the highest. And let me show. I wouldn't know what that card looked like off the top of my head. So for those out there like me who also might not, that's 1933 Gaudi Babe Ruth PSA 9.
What's the highest grade mantle that we have in Card Ladder?
Let's see. Let's see here. Mantle cards have been hot requests on the submissions page too. We got 51 mantles in the system now. Like, people have been requesting them from various years. Okay, so the highest mantle we have is the 53 Topps PSA 9.
What about 52?
The highest 52 we have is, I see, it must be the PSA 8, because if we had the PSA 9, it would be.
Like, I'm a card historian, and that, you just can't deny how like awesome and like important that card right there is.
I'm pretty sure like the photo negative that was used as the basis for this card sold for a ridiculous amount, or it's in a forthcoming auction, or I saw it somewhere. It was a really cool piece.
It's a cool card, man. Like, there's been a lot of cards that have tried to replicate it. Like, there's been reprints of it. It's just like a super historical. The bat is like literally yellow on the card. It's cool. It's like it's like a little bit artistic. It's not just like a boring.
Yeah, and he looks so young and great pose. It's a great card.
By like baseball statistic measurements, he's like the 20th best player of all time. He's just like very collectible, I guess. Like he's likable and he's like the all-around player like Trout is. It's just people just like that. I don't know. I can't think of there's not really an equivalent in basketball because you have to be a champion in basketball.
And he was a huge pop culture fixture. And didn't he date Marilyn Monroe and stuff like that?
He did.
Mickey married her. Yeah, so he was a guy who transcended sports, obviously.
When I asked my father-in-law about it, he just always says Mantle, Mantle, Mantle. And it's like, why? And it's like hard for him to explain. It's just like he just was popular and like everyone loved him. Every kid wanted his autograph. It's just the way it is. Like maybe it's like the modern day, or is like the like what LeBron is today, or Jordan and stuff. Luka.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've got the 52 mantle, the 53 Topps.
Joe DiMaggio dated Marilyn Monroe. Sorry.
There you go.
Oh, okay, my fault. Fault.
Not a baseball show, guys. Sorry.
Also, not like a 50s like pop culture show. Thanks.
But still, I should not have led us astray. I should have just not said anything.
Mickey Mantle's actual wife was named Marilyn.
Oh, see, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. She was
This
the
is a fake-
author.
This is a fake news show, guys. Come on.
59 tops. I mean, I enjoy learning about these cards as people request them.
Mantle won 7 series. Jeez, I didn't say I didn't mean to say that Mantle didn't win. I didn't.
We just said we were trolling you guys. We were testing
We
your
were-
knowledge on Mickey Mantle.
We're just like stumbling over our own stupidity on Mickey Mantle right now.
This card
That-
is cool. It has. Will this work? No. It has a gray back and a white back version, which is kind of cool.
In an alternate universe, I would collect vintage baseball cards.
See, by the time this card rolled around, he didn't look quite as young.
No, my father-in-law always says like he did not age super well towards the end of his career. Like it got dicey.
63 tops Mantle.
He's got like basically one base card every year.
I don't know.
Baseball's confusing because like he has a 51 card, but like the 52 is his rookie card. It's like I guess it's like the Jordan Fleer, but it's confusing.
Yeah.
I love a world where it's obvious that the blue ice is the like known rookie card, you know,
Yeah.
or the red shimmer. Like that's the world I want to live in.
Okay, so look, I knew if I went to our submissions, I'd be able to find the answer to this question. So you got the 1951 Bowman Mickey Mantle PSA 4 is definitely a thing.
You should add that to the ladder ASAP.
I know. Here, I'm gonna give this one an upvote myself.
There you go, dude. I always upvote stuff where I'm like, come on, Chris, get this shit in here.
Yeah, I'm adding some mantles right now. I forget which one I was working on before the show, but I'm adding some mantles right now.
Love this stuff. It was like people that are like just upset at us that we don't have certain cards because like they're so important to that person, and we respect that. Orange Dazzle, that's the rookie you want to find. For the white sparkle and the orange, underrated. Incredibly undervalued.
Whoa, I accessed a filter.
And the blue retail, super undervalued. $40 to $50 beers? Wow, that's incredible. All right, Chris, we're losing you, so I'm gonna jump off. We're frozen. You're accessing your filter.
The future is here. An innovation that will change the way the industry works. A Hot 100 chart, updated daily. The most accurate price guide on the market. Every card has its own profile with a wealth of information. Know the precise, real-time value of any card in the system. On demand. You now have the power to unlock the secrets of the hobby.